Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Cheers to the Week podcast with Jem and Elle. This week it's a bit of a deep one, so a bit of a disclaimer just so that you know. We're going to be talking about hospitals and ableism and treatment we've experienced in hospital this week. And Jem's done something for the first time this year.
Oh my God, what's it gonna be?
Mm.
Um, we do have a technical difficulty about 40 minutes in, but hopefully
Yeah.
you will hear us rectify that. Um, there will be swearing because Elle is a naughty little bugger and likes to whack 'em out every now and then. And you
The
can
swear
hear,
words, nothing else.
see, she's already started. And you can get this podcast on all podcast platforms as well as YouTube. So pick whichever one suits you and enjoy the app.
Yeah.
Hey!
Sorry, he hoodwinked me completely. He made out he needed a wee, but actually he was just really quite annoyed that there were cats in his garden.
Rude. I mean, I'm not a
Yes, we're
cat
talking
lover
about
either.
you.
Oh, little Ted.
Mm.
You're looking very glam to say the week you've had, which we will go through.
Oh, I don't feel it, but thank you very much.
Bit of lippy. Bit of lippy goes a long way, doesn't it?
Bit of lippy and a hair wash, and we're all good.
I mean, basically brand new.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I've had a day where, like basically I've bulk recorded loads of content
Oh, I love that.
and I just love getting shit like that done.
Yeah,
Just makes you feel like you're on it. I'm a bit socially tired, but in a good way, like you feel like you've done something.
yeah. Oh, I
But
love
yeah,
that.
I'm good. Dare I ask how you are? Because for people listening, it's been a week and a half for you.
Yeah, it's been a week. I'm all right. Quite a long way to go in terms of recovery. I've
Yeah,
been in hospital, as you know, but others may not.
yeah,
Um, and not related to my operation. That all actually went okay. Stitches are out tomorrow, and that was all okay. But yeah, my ticker just decided it didn't want to play ball. So yeah, I ended up in there for quite some time. But that's not my favorite experience. I don't think anybody, we spoke, didn't we, about how you feel like when you end up in that environment, you are instantly gearing for war and
yeah,
you tense and
yeah,
I was mardy,
yeah.
really mardy. Um, some moments were hilarious and I was able to find the funny side. Some moments were not so yeah, I was glad to be home when I eventually left on my own terms.
I bet. I just think well, we might talk about this in a bit, but you just feel even more disabled, don't you, than you usually are. And like, that's just not a nice feeling to be reminded in a place that is very medical and stuff. So it's not
Yeah,
just the physical, it's like the mental and the emotional exhaustion of going to something like that in it. So you gotta give yourself a bit of chill and
yeah.
decompress.
It's the kind of environment though that you would think wouldn't have foot pedal bins in the disabled toilets.
Ugh,
And yeah, and I feel like that is a low bar. Um, you know, there's a lot else wrong, but that to me that kind of signifies everything that you need to know about that experience, doesn't it?
yeah, it's a bit of a kicker in it, really. Like it's the basic thing of putting something in bin, and you can't do that. You're like, really?
Mm,
So
yeah,
fun.
exactly.
And,
Yeah.
you forget, and really because it's all shit. You just think, oh, I can't be arsed, I'll just get someone else to do it. But like in your head, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of that. So how's
Yeah.
your week been?
It's been good. I was thinking because I was like, every time I come to this podcast, I have not prepared. So I tried to prepare a little bit today.
One
Um,
step more than me. Well done.
well, yeah,
Uh,
maybe my brain was like, Elle's not gonna be as on it, so I'll try and be on it. But I've had a really good week. I have sorted my shit out basically, and
mm,
yesterday we were supposed to record yesterday, and Elle kindly let me off because I was just not feeling it. I had a day of my parents came round, and I think when you're an adult, and you, no offense, mum, she'll be listening to this. But when both your parents come and visit you, it's intense because you regress back to being a child. And
mm.
they were like helping me rearrange, which was really lovely. And like they are such cheerleaders, and like they will do anything to make my life easier. And there were a few bits like, the bloody bathroom door that keeps it just keeps coming off its hinges now,
Does
which
it?
I think I may have a bit of a routine of crashing, maybe. So shit like that where I get dad to come round and just sort that stuff out. But oh my God, yesterday it's like because they're getting older, they're like I can see that they're not what they used to be, and they will admit that as well. But like they're lifting things, and I'm thinking, oh my God, don't fall, and they're like tripping over, and like they were putting my little feet under my sofa, and I went, Mum, what, watch, and my lamp just fell, just like fell on my feet. And when you're just thinking like, who's the most disabled person in this room right now? Because I'm not being funny. You're not looking what you're doing, and I'm like
Yeah.
then like shouting at them, but then I'm like grateful because oh God, anyway. So it was just a lot. So I was just exhausted and I hurt my back trying to bloody put the plug back on, which I put on Instagram about.
Mm,
Sorry, you literally just asked how my week was, but sorting my life out, had a lovely week, and worked quite quiet, which is a little bit eerie when you're a freelancer.
mm.
That's difficult to like, you don't want to get worried because you think, why aren't the jobs coming in? But you appreciate the quiet. It's a really weird
Yeah.
ball game, but I'm just trying to embrace the quiet because I know that soon it'll pick up and I'll be like ready for a day off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
my
guess
week's
if you bulk doing your content in this time, then at least when it does kick off, you'll be ready.
yeah. I think when you've got any kind of chronic pain or chronic illness, we're very good at preempting stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm a pro now at like bulk doing that because I know that at some point I won't either be in the mood or things will be kicking off and I haven't got time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my week really. But how about you? How's your week been?
I don't feel like I've had one. It was very odd.
Yeah,
So, um, T went to his dad's, and not long after that, it all kicked off. And then I checked myself out of hotel hospital, and he was back the next day. So, yeah, it's a bit. I feel like I've lost some days, and it's all
yeah.
a bit disorientating. So, haven't really had anything to write home about, to be honest.
No.
No, no highlight.
Sometimes that's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose no, I did have a highlight. We all went to the pub quiz for Adam's birthday, and it was the night I got out of hospital, and it was probably the most ridiculous decision I've ever made. But it was just so nice to be surrounded by nice people for a
Yeah.
nice reason. And, you know, I got some of the quiz questions hilariously wrong in my delusional state. So
When you text me saying you were at the pub, half of me was like, don't be a Barbara and tell her off because that's the last thing she needs. But then part of me was like, you go, girl. Like, if you're able to do it and you want to do it, go for it. But that was the last place I expected you to be when I said, how's
yeah,
your evening going?
yeah. I mean, it was supposed to be a surprise and it ended up not being because nobody had any faith that I was going to get there and I was supposed to be the one to get him there. So it had to be the cat was let out of the bag. But no, I didn't want that to have consumed all of my time and I needed something that was a bit more positive, a bit more, something other than about my disability. And I just wanted to be there for him. So yeah, it was. Not the easiest, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the thing sometimes when you're disabled, like something I'm learning in therapy is like being around people and not being 100% is okay. Like
yeah,
it feels really vulnerable to be that, but the right people will not expect you to be the entertainer all the time.
yeah.
But it's
And
hard, isn't it?
it was very much that. And I mean, I really was out of it. At one point, I confused John Lennon for John Legend and was very, very confused. So,
Yeah,
a
they're quite different.
little bit. Um, yeah. And but it was just nice to be there and accepted as I was and for nice reasons. And yeah. It was good, but I have paid for it since I've basically slept all day today.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's what I need, and I've done it. So
Sleep is a healer, as my mum would say.
yeah, I think I had to admit that today when I was literally like falling asleep.
Bless you.
But yes, what's your highlight been?
My highlight. Do you remember last week I said I was playing Mario with my brother? That was my for the week
Yeah.
next week. I only went and won the Grand Prix, didn't I? The one day a
Yes.
year I win him. Honestly, such a sore winner. I was screaming, I was dancing, and like it does make him laugh, but I know it pisses him off because like even though he wins like all the time, like I have to put up with like it's kind of a joke now that I'm like, well, another one bites the dust. But when I get that moment, I'm just like absolutely buzzing. Oh, absolutely euphoric. And it was like 3 point. It wasn't that much of a win. Like it was very, very close. Because like when we're playing Mario, usually we chat quite deep when we're. It's almost like a
Mm,
therapy session. Like because we're not looking at each other. I think we just like
yeah. It's like
it's
car chats, isn't it?
yeah, and it's quite
Mm.
sweet, really, that we just like talk about life. But you can tell he gets nervous because he starts going quiet, like when he knows that I'm winning, and he's like, all of a sudden it's silent when it gets
He
close to the
can't
bone.
cope.
Yeah, and he's like, hold on a minute, hold on, I need to concentrate, and I won. So that was a pretty good highlight for me because disabled or not, sometimes winning your brother feels glorious.
Absolutely. Has he already tried to book in his opportunity to take revenge?
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, like, next time we play, I'll be back on it. I'm just not feeling it this week. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, of course you're not, mate. Don't worry about it. But imagine if this was like the start of something new and I won again.
Well, Jack, your time's limited, mate.
Well, get ready because I've also got my eye on the new Nintendo, which, if anyone happens to work at Nintendo and is watching this, I need the new Nintendo, but it's sold out everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah, I need to do
Oh
the old
no.
sign up to whatever, but at least
Oh
that might mean
no.
it's good and it's worth buying. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're very like it's quite hot. Nintendo are not very, like with the iPhone, they like hype it up, but you kind of know when it's coming out and they've got availability. Whereas,
I've not seen a lot about it, to be fair, apart from you and Blooming T voice noting
yeah,
about what it's going to be like
I
and all the
know.
features.
I'm like a little kid, me. I'm like, what do you think? But yeah, I'll get one. I'll keep you updated. I'm sure. It can't be that long. I think they're doing like a, oh, it's sold out because they want people
Okay.
to want it.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. If that's their PR move, then so be it. It's working. Bloody hell. Come on, Nintendo. Anyway,
Do they refresh, like, do they release new ones every so often or?
yeah, they must do. I don't know. I feel like they're not communicating it. Or whether I'm not like, because Jack were like, oh, why don't you sign up to the mailing list? I'm like, what mailing list? Like, am I
Yeah.
just not? I think it's because I'm not a gamer. I'm just a Mario player. I don't even want
Yeah.
all the games. I just want the new Mario Kart. Anyway, sorry, I was quite passionate about that.
Can you play the new Mario on the old device? Not that I'm suggesting you should. I'm just saying,
Eh,
like, can you get halfway there at least?
that's a good point. I will investigate that. Yeah. See, this is why we work well. You're very good at solutions.
Yeah, but if I can't get solutions, then I'm not very good at waiting for work.
Yeah, I'm good at that bit. I'm just not good at
Yeah.
So together we're a great team.
Yeah, we are. In a lot of ways.
So do you want to skip your highlight because I imagine you did the
Yeah, my pub was the highlight, I think.
yeah.
Oh, and I had the nails done, didn't I? Where my nail tech took advantage of how, vulnerable I was at the moment and decided to take away my burgundy.
Oh, dare
So,
she?
I know.
Beautiful. A lovely
Excuse my
French tip.
bruising. I know. So, yeah. I mean, they look nice, but
I was gonna say your face is not really giving you like it, but
do you know what it is? It's
what?
chipped already on my
Oh,
wheelchair. So it's obviously not as hardy as my burgundy, and that's just a little bit annoying
yeah.
because I've not even really done a lot. I've not been anywhere, have I? I've not really. So for them to have chipped already is quite something. So,
Oh.
ah, well,
And also when you're resting and you're probably just looking at the chip all the time and you're like, well
yeah,
that's annoying.
yeah. And just going, my burgundy doesn't do that.
Yeah. When can you next get your nails done, do we think?
3 weeks' time.
Mm,
I know. Yeah, I'll be marred until then for a number of reasons.
yeah, you're
But
allowed.
this will be one of them.
Yeah. Oh,
Although I have, how I keep giving you my update of how many stages through the sale of the house we are.
yes.
And we were at 4, and I was
Mm.
thinking, oh, this is going to take a while. And then it jumped to 8, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a bit, yeah, there's 15 and we're at 10. It
Hmm.
keeps going really quickly, and now it's getting really serious really quickly.
Ooh,
So I know. So I think it's going to be a quick one.
yeah.
And considering the state of it, I found out its boiler's only 7 years old and got serviced this year.
Wow.
So that was a Brucey bonus.
That's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah. So that was all right. Some good news.
Do you know what? To say you've had a shit week, you've had a few highlights there.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Have you got any cheers too, my love?
Well, I don't want to copy you, but I feel like we should cheers to the fact that you're alive.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on board with that.
Because that's always great. When you've got stuff going on with your ticker, I just wanted to acknowledge that it is great that you're still here.
Yeah.
Because we've started a podcast now, and I'm not being funny, but if you pop your clogs at episode 5, when we've not
Be
even done
rude, wasn't it?
6, I mean, I'd literally go to your funeral and I'd be like, we're supposed to do 6 episodes at least. And my 6th episode is you dead. So I'm
Yeah,
in a selfish way, I'd like to cheers that you're still here, you're still
yeah,
going, and can we just acknowledge the fact that also on your last op, you went to see Shrek?
yeah, I
I
did.
mean,
I
part of
forgot
me
about
wants to,
Shrek.
Yeah, part of me wants to cheers you, part of me wants to slap you, but I can't reach and I'll probably break my arm, so I'm gonna cheers you instead.
No, I am my worst. I mean, I have loved your messages this week of I hope you're relaxing, and then when I've replied saying what I'm doing, you're like, oh, fuck Blake.
Yeah. I'm just like,
Oh,
what's the
woman.
point? I
I
don't even know
know.
why I say it anymore.
It's just fallen like that. It's
Yeah,
fallen so that there's things that are in, and as a mum, the mum guilt is it's full on, mate.
yeah,
And you want to make sure that you do it generally as a disabled person anyway. You don't really want to turn things down unless you really can't do it, do you? Because
no,
you know you're gonna have to pay for it anyway.
yeah,
And I knew I was riding on a wave that was eventually gonna crash hard.
yeah.
So yeah. But Shrek was good. I have one gripe. I
Go
don't know
on.
if I've already moaned to you about this.
I don't think so.
Right, Shrek was amazing. Controversial opinion, I think it's better than Lion King. Putting it out there.
Yes, you did say that.
I know it gets the heroic kind of status, but I do think Shrek's better. However, Donkey did not say, and in the morning I'm making waffles. Why are you looking like you don't know that line?
I'm like, I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan.
And
What is this in
and in the
Shrek 1?
morning, and in the morning, I'm making waffles. Fun. Oh, Jem, don't, because I'll start questioning our friendship.
Well, I mean, is that a really big part of Shrek?
It is to me.
I feel like you've made this a thing when actually, like the ones that I remember is like the onions and layers.
Yeah, and then when he's going, can I stay with you? Can I stay with you? Can I stay
Yeah,
with you,
can I be
please?
with you?
Yeah. Well, then he goes, and we can do this, and we can do that, and in the morning, I'm making waffles. And that's like,
No,
right, well, I'm going to put that to the listeners, then they can tell me whether that's the moment that I think it is. But
yeah.
it was completely dropped from the musical, and I was horrified, if I'm honest.
So have you seen it before and he said it?
I think so. Well, I'm sure he said it at the London one. Because I feel like I would have moaned about it then if he didn't. But
Maybe they forgot. Maybe it was like an improv.
well, in which case, it's not on.
Maybe you should write a letter and be like, Dear Donkey, I recently saw your show and you didn't
Yeah,
say this line.
yeah. What's that about? Can you now, give me I was gonna say give me a private showing. But you know what I mean? I want a
Well,
voice note at least.
yeah, get a voice note and then you can play it over and over again.
Yeah. It's my favourite bit. And I was like geared up, ready, and it just never happened. But oh no.
Oh, do
Oh
you know we
no.
learn something new every day? I didn't know that we all thing.
Yeah. In the morning, I make it waffles.
That's a really good impression as well.
I mean, we both know it's the only one I can do of anything. So
Yeah.
my my impressions are notoriously shocking. So
Can you
I'll
remember
take it.
that night
No,
when we did voice notes and me and T were just back and forth doing impressions, and then you did
and
one,
they
and
were so good.
T went, no, mum.
Well, you two were like back and forth, and like I'm sort of enjoying myself just listening to these impressions that are really good. And I didn't see it coming, and then it was like, "Come on, then, what's yours?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm really not good at them."
I can't remember what you did now. I did Yoshi. That's
Did I
mine.
do Ouija?
Yes.
Oh no, Ouija, what happened?
Oh God,
So
that's terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
I know. I can't do accents either. Really can't.
Good job you're not well, because I'll leave
I
that there for
know.
now.
Yeah, thanks. Please don't bully me.
Not this week. Maybe next week.
Not this week. Shall I do my cheers then? Thank you very much for that. That was lovely.
Yes, sorry. God, how selfish of me. What's your cheers?
My cheers is to nurses and healthcare workers.
Yes.
And I can't quite extend that to doctors. I'm sure there are some lovely ones, but I just did not encounter them. So
Mm,
I was very appreciative of the nurses and the healthcare assistants who were just amazing.
mm,
Put up with some real shit, and they were just really lovely, still human beings. They were very nice. So yeah, that was my shout out. Unfortunately, when I did put a story up and said that, why is it that nurses are always amazing and doctors are rarely? And I know I was in the pits of a bit of a moan, but not one inbox, not one comment to the contrary. Everybody agreed with me. Everybody
yeah.
had similar stories. So it's clearly not just me being a Mardy git.
No, I completely agree as well. They're always the ones to like dismiss your lived experience in my experience.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was, yeah. Well, shall we go on to that as our topic for this week? Because we've both had hospital experiences, haven't we?
We
And I
have.
think let's discuss some of the experiences of ableism, experiences of support within hospitals, what it's like, because we've both got different standpoints, haven't we? Very different lived experiences, so we might get a bit of a balance view too.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I guess I having a rare condition like that's genetic means that a lot of doctors have got no clue what to do when I go in.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, when my parents were taking me to hospital, they were very much relying on other people and their experience. So they've had to learn pretty much about brittle bones and what it is. Whereas as an adult, I am very much an expert in my own body, and it's me having to explain to doctors, and doctors don't like being told. This is something that I have learned. Like, they don't want, even though I'm like, well, if I don't tell you how my body works, how are you supposed to help me? Like, surely we should respect each other. And, you
Mm.
know, the main got both of our goals is to get me out of this place. Like, I don't want to be here. So let me just tell you how it works, and then you can do your doctor thing, and then we can move on. But it's the main difficulty for me is one, attitudes of people. So
Yeah.
because I'm a small woman, I get that kind of sexism of people thinking that I don't know what I'm on about, but also I get the infantilization of, as much as I love nurses and I genuinely do think like they're the backbone of
Mm.
healthcare, but, the amount of times I roll in and they'll go, hello, trouble's here, and it's that it kind of makes me shrink as soon as I
Yeah.
get in back into being, a young kid at school. And it's so hard to advocate for yourself when someone's treating you like you're a 5-year old, and
Mm.
it's really weird. But then they've got to ask you questions like, you get an X-ray, and they're like, "And are you sexually active?" And so it's like, oh, why are you talking to me like a 5-year-old? But then you've got to ask me if I'm
Yeah.
sexually active and if I might be pregnant because I'm getting an X-ray. Like, it's a bit kind of Black Mirror warped. So I have definitely had to just like advocate for myself and not put up with that. And I've been talking a lot online about how to deal with that. And it's still not perfect. Like, some days I just put up with it and I just like nod and smile and carry on. Sometimes I'll say, actually, I'm 32 years old and like I know what I'm on about. But yeah, I think that's the main thing for me. Um, and there are things like So this week I went for an X-ray and I can transfer if I've not broken anything. Um, but it's that constant explaining, like, oh, my chair, I'll park my chair up, can you do this, blah, blah, blah. So it's just a lot of energy, isn't it? And I guess
Mm,
for anyone else going into hospital, I'm guessing they just go in and they get looked after. They can sit back, relax. Well, they might be waiting for ages, but usually they can just sit there and be looked after. Whereas for us, even when we're in the worst pain, we're not great, we're not doing good, we still have to be alert to be able to
yeah.
do everything. So, yeah, I've gone on a bit there, but they're kind of like the main
Mm,
things for me. But I don't know if that's, do you feel like that?
yeah, absolutely. I think it was you that pointed out, I know as soon as I go into hospital, I am just so cold.
Yeah.
So like I've got no personality. I'm really off. I'm
Mm,
not fun to be around. I am well aware.
yeah.
Like, and I do become this version of myself that I don't recognize. And I'm just like, and I think it was you that said to me, like, yeah, because you're gearing up for war. And I
Mm,
hadn't really sort of realized that that's what it is. I'm waiting for, and I went in with well, I got called in actually. So it wasn't even that I went in voluntarily. I got asked to go in because there were concerns. And, you know, there were some quite serious symptoms and things seemed to escalate very quickly into majors of A&E. And then this doctor came over and just went, well, given your age and the fact you're a woman, it's probably a panic attack. You can go.
oh,
And do you know what? Like, I know panic attack. I said, this is not a panic attack. That
mm,
was all I could get out to him. This is not a panic attack. And then he said, well, your experience of what a panic attack is and my experience of what a panic attack is are two very different things. And at which point I lost the ability to advocate for myself because I was
yeah.
so stunned
Mm,
by that. And normally I am sort of there fending for myself, but I wasn't on this occasion. And I did, get support in standing up and then was admitted with serious complications and, there's going to be ongoing issues. So, I know that panic attacks can be very scary, very debilitating, etc., etc., but they're not the life-threatening situation that we could have been in. And it was so dismissive that actually my care was, you know, I didn't get that straight away when I should have done. And that was because of his attitude towards things. So it was a bit, yeah, that's my main thing because I don't look old enough to have all the issues that I have.
mm,
Whenever I'm in a cardiac ward, it's with people who are at least double my age, if not more. Um, so there's a lot of, it's not that. And, the treatments that I need won't be done because I'm too young. But if I was older, they'd just do them. It's that kind of
yeah.
you're up against that all the time. So I think that's the bit I struggle with most. And then just the, like you say, just the like having to over explain yourself, having
Mm,
to on the ward be like, no, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, but just don't move my chair. Like, don't take that away, don't do this, don't do that. There's a constant, yeah. So it's just you do have to fight, don't you? It's a
mm,
constant thing. But what I'm interested in with you, because you've had a different experience than me, you've been through pediatrics, I'm
mm,
guessing. And I often wonder, because as someone with complex health needs that go across different sectors,
mm,
I have different specialists for different things and none of them talk to each other.
yeah.
So I feel like we need an adult version of pediatrics where it's like everybody's under the same roof and you can have that more holistic care.
Yeah.
What was your experience of going from that pediatrics environment where it is a bit more holistic into a more specialist area?
Yeah, I just think when you're a kid, healthcare is so different. Like
Mm,
you're treated better, you you're given what you need quicker. Like you, because you've got your parents are believed. But like
yeah.
I can just sit there and look pretty and cute because I were a cute little Polly Pocket. Like anything I
Mm,
needed, I got, and I were on drug trials, and didn't really even have to fight for anything because
yeah.
it was just expected. Whereas, literally, as soon as I turned 18, everything disappeared. And
Mm,
honestly, I don't even have a specialist anymore. And like a lot of my friends who like I talk to, they're like, "You've not got a specialist," and I'm like, "No, because like no one's reached out. It takes you to ask for it." And like at the moment, I've got a dodgy hip, and I've had to ask for that help. Um, and I might have to wait like 18 weeks to get this hip seen to. And it's like, I don't know if it's fractured. I don't know if I've like popped it out. And like, there's no kind of care there. Unless, I mean, you have to be, if you don't keep chasing, no one's gonna like be like, "Hey, Jem, probably should give you a little MOT of how your bones are doing." And I just feel like
yeah.
that's all gone now. And I do think it's got worse since the pandemic. I just think
Mm,
we're really stretched for resources now. And like, if you're not dying, they won't they won't offer you anything. And even then, I mean, bloody hell, look at your
yeah.
experience. But yeah, I just think it, it's a privilege to be able to get what you need now in terms of medical stuff.
Mm,
Um, and I don't know what the process is anymore as an adult. And I honestly don't even know if we were in a dream world where I got really good healthcare. I actually don't know what that would look like. Like, do I want a density scan where I find out how strong my bones are each year? Do I want like pain management like it's the bar is so low that I'm like,
mm,
what is normal and what do I need? Because at the moment, you have to wait till it gets diabolical. I'll cry for a bit and then I'll put my big girl pants on and ring the doctors. Like, that's
yeah.
kind of the system at the moment. That was a bit of a moan, wasn't it? But it's true. Basically, there's not really a process. And I sometimes I feel embarrassed. I feel like I'm not doing disability right, and I feel like I always have to say, maybe it's me, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, maybe I'm not being the proper disabled person. Hello, it's Jem here. We had a bit of a technical difficulty, so now we're doing part two, where we had to come back on, but yeah, as you were, sorry about that. Bye!
In the interest of full transparency, we're about an hour later and we've lost half the podcast. So we're coming back.
No, I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties.
Oh, don't be daft. It's the gremlins.
It is. It must be, what is it? Retrograde, whatever they call it.
The moon's in the microwave. That's it.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But we do you know what? 40 minutes in, we've had a good chat there. Um,
Yeah.
we were just doing the recommendations, I think.
What's your recommendation for the week?
So you'll be very surprised to hear. And you've never said it before. Um, but genuinely, the TV program Departure, all
Tell
of
me what
it.
that's about.
Wow, look at it. See, I know you've never heard of it before. It's like a whodunit, but within
Hmm.
travel. So
Yeah.
there's a new season out, season three, and the first season was about a plane crash. The second one is about a train crash. And the
Mhm.
third one is about a ferry crash. And it's just really like, we love a whodunit, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's just cool to just, well, I'm in my crochet slow life era.
Mhm.
And I was sat on the sofa last night watching Departure, and I thought, this is the life.
That is living.
Yeah, so I would definitely
Peak.
recommend that. Yes. And it's on Netflix.
Awesome. Mine is a weighted cooling blanket. So it's a game changer. I have the fan at the end of my bed, I have the weighted cooling blanket on, and it just gives me a little bit of yeah, bit of a comfort feeling, bit of a security feeling, but also it really does cool me down. It is the weighted one, but they do the non-weighted ones as well, if
Yes,
you'd
because I was
prefer
saying
non-weighted.
I don't like feeling because I think
Mm,
because I'm quite weak, like as in my bones are not very strong, I feel a bit claustrophobic. So it's good to hear
yeah.
that
And it
there's
is, there's different weights, but they are still obviously weighted. So there
yeah,
is some heft involved,
yeah.
unless you got a smaller one, I guess. So yeah, I could see that that might be a little bit, but the non-weighted ones are almost like a big baby muslin. They're
Mm.
like a silkier version.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and those are really good as well. So yeah.
wow. Elle's on TikTok, so
Mm.
we're gonna try and get her to do some hashtag,
I will
what's it
share
called?
some of the things I've been, because I did do a bit of a rogue purchase where I ended up opening a box of stuff that came as much of a surprise to me as it did to anyone else. So,
Yes.
but since in the time that's elapsed since we were filming, T's come back and he is thrilled to bits with the SpongeBob sponge holder. And I also got him a fiddle and he loves that as well. So he approves of my late night TikTok purchases.
You got him a what?
A fiddle,
What's a fiddle?
like a fidget
Oh,
toy.
yeah, yeah, sorry. When you're not in that world, I was like, I really don't want
Not
to.
not a violin.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You got him a violin. Like, I don't get it. So sorry. Yes.
No.
Oh, was that a
Um,
Barbara moment? I'm so sorry.
why was I but no,
Okay,
no, absolutely not. So yeah, he loves that, and he loves the SpongeBob
love
sponge
that.
holder. So we're both as wappy as each other, it seems.
I love that. I love
Mm.
I love it when well, I was saying before, I get high on painkillers, when you're in pain
Yeah,
and you end up just buying a load of shit and then you forget the next day and you're like, why, when did I buy this?
yeah. When did I get that? Yeah, well, I knew I'd ordered something from TikTok,
Yeah.
but then I really couldn't have told you what was in it. And then I thought, I'm not going to look back over emails to tell me what I've bought. I'm just going to see what happens when it arrives. And it wasn't a lot of money was worth, but there was a lot of stuff in the box. So yeah, I wish I'd have filmed my reaction to because I was pulling things out, just going like, "What the hell is this?
You
What's
should do
this?"
that next
I
time.
know. Next time I will,
Do it.
because yeah, because it takes that long to come as well, doesn't it? Sometimes it literally turns up at the door and you're like, I haven't ordered anything. And then
Yeah.
there's a vague recollection when you look at certain things and you think, oh, maybe I did order.
Yeah, and then you try and think, why did I order that? Like, have I got
Yeah,
a project that I'm thinking about doing? Like, yeah, I'm terrible for
yeah.
that.
I've got post-it notes with the old Microsoft Paint
Have
screen
you?
on them. Yeah. Why?
I can't wait until you get your new house and to just see your brain in a house. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, did you see us at Christmas? We had the gonks.
Yes.
Well, we've got no one to say no now. So, like, and one thing me and T do very well is egg each other on.
Yes.
So, if one of us comes up with a daft idea, the other one's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, there's no, he says we've got no grown up, which is fair. Um, so yeah, at Christmas I gave him the option of what our Christmas theme was because we had nothing from the old house, so we had to start again from scratch with everything, including the Christmas decorations. And yeah, we needed a theme for our Christmas decorations, and it ended up being gonks, which spiraled into 86 gonks throughout the house.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
86.
I know. One of which is bigger than you.
Oh, no, that freaks me out a bit.
When you come
Hello.
and stay, I'm gonna lie him next to you in bed.
Oh no. I'll sob. Oh God. Oh,
So yeah, there will be some odd things throughout the house because we are a little bit.
I love it. Can't wait to see it.
Mhm. So we did discuss that we have had listeners' question with regards to Pip, but you made an executive decision, and
I
we're going
did.
to discuss that in depth next week, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah, 'cause we've had quite a heavy chat about being in the
Oh
hospital, and I
yeah.
feel like if we talk about welfare cuts as well, we don't want to have our listeners sobbing, which
No,
could very much happen. But we will cover it in next week's topic, and we will deep dive into
we
all that.
will.
So,
We have been quite heavy this week, and it has been quite deep. But I do feel like it's worth saying that if we weren't like that this week, it wouldn't be authentic because we've both
yes.
had a bit of a challenge this week,
Yeah.
and we do tend to take it in turns as to who's got more energy. And if we came on here and we were very like, "Hi guys,"
Yeah.
it wouldn't be real, would it? It would be faking it.
No.
So I don't ever want to do that.
No. And I don't think people want to listen to that. Like, if
No,
I hear someone like, oh, my, you're like, oh my. Do you remember JoJo Siwa when she was like in her prime? I could not watch that. I was just like,
no, it's exhausting. Can't match that energy. Don't want to.
nope. And I won't.
I won't do it. We have been our true authentic selves, which has meant a little bit flatter this week for me. You've been bright and breezy.
Sometimes someone's best doesn't mean, oh, what's that phrase? You're 100%. Oh, bloody hell, I don't know. Something
I
like
know what
that.
it is.
What
If
is
you've only
it?
got 40% and you're giving 40%, then you're giving your 100%.
That's it.
That's it.
Yay! I'll just take what you've said and put it in my mouth. That. But it's true
That's
though, isn't
so
it?
true. Yeah.
Yeah, you've given it your best and your best has been great.
Well, thank you very much for everything this week because you've been, even though we're not close geographically as much as we'd like to be, you were at the end of the phone saying all the right things, by the way. How do you just know what to say? But absolutely, thank you
Oh,
very much.
you're welcome. I literally any time. Apart from, well, like 3 in the morning to
Yeah,
10
no,
a.m.
nobody. Although we say that, we're quite often awake at stupid o'clock at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know what's my sleep patterns are. Like, it's the heat.
Yeah, it is. We
We're
need to do.
grandmas, aren't we?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No. So, what are we up to this week before we
Oh
go?
yeah. So this week I'm going with Ali and Damien and taking tea to see the script, who are my favourite band ever. So it's part of the AAA 101 series that Damien's doing, where he's access all areas to 101 different venues or different shows to highlight the access of those shows. So we're
Nice.
going to that, which will be amazing. And then that is Sunday night, and tea goes straight on residential on Monday morning. So it'll be quite crazy. But we're going to have a chilled one, getting everything packed and everything on Saturday, and then off to the script.
Woohoo! Very good. I love the
Yeah.
script. That'll be so good.
T's first concert, and he's, oh, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but nobody's heard it. So I, unsurprisingly, wasn't one of the nursery rhymes in the car parents.
Yeah.
He grew up on an eclectic mix of songs, and the script played heavily in that. So from the age of being able to talk, he's been singing and shouting songs in the car with me,
Oh,
and the script is one of them. So his first gig, he'll be rocking and rolling, hopefully in Halifax with me. So that'd be nice.
oh, that's
Looking
so
forward to
lovely.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to let us know next week how it was.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
And then you've promised me you're gonna rest after that.
I promise you, because T's then on residential and then at his dad's. So all next week, I will be a good girl. I promise.
Thank you very much. That's all I ask. And for me this week, I basically on my birthday day, I sadly found out my friend passed away and it was a bit shit
Mm,
and I didn't really celebrate. And usually I have like a family day. So I've decided I'm now ready to celebrate. So I'm going for a lovely breakfast because breakfast is my favorite like time to eat. I love a
mm,
good, as we know, as we've talked about,
mm.
and hash browns are just, if I could just eat a plate of hash browns every day, I would. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go for brekkie this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that should be nice.
Aw.
Just the
And is it
simple
somewhere
thing.
that you go regularly? Is it the place that did your dad a cake?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Wow, that was a good remembering.
Fabulous time celebrating. And
Thank you.
I'm sure they'd want you to as well, now that you've
Yes,
got to your place of a bit more peace.
yeah. You gotta let the grief flow and then come
Yeah,
back when you're ready, aren't you?
absolutely.
So thank you
Absolutely.
for listening anyway, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much
Those
for joining us and bearing with us.
Yeah, we had technical difficulties, but hopefully we've managed to rectify it as much as possible.
Good luck with the edit.
Yeah, it'll
And
be
can
fine.
I also just say thank you to those regular listeners? Some of them were people we know. Um, I've had conversations with people who I normally speak to on the phone regularly who have said, I don't feel like I need to talk to you anymore because I listen to your podcast.
Oh,
Okay. My littlest brother messages me every Saturday to go, just listen to your podcast. He can do a lap or two of Gibraltar while he's listening to one podcast. So he
no
does that
way.
apparently. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, when I went to the pub for the quiz the other night, they were talking about that as well. So we've got people we know supporting us as well, which is always really nice, as well as those
Wow.
that don't.
Yeah. My oldest friend from school, Chloe, she'll probably be listening. She messaged me the other day and said, "Thank you so much for bringing a podcast out. I've got another one to listen to now."
Mm.
So, isn't it nice that we're part of people's weekly listening?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It was really
So,
nice.
thank you for
So thank you
being
very
here.
much. Yeah,
Yes. Let's go. Love you too. Rest up.
will do.
Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Goodbye.